All right, so welcome to your deep dive. And I gotta say, this one's a real head scratcher. I'm not sure what we've gotten ourselves into.
Mm.
We've got legal documents and code snippets.
Oh, wow.
Even what looks like some sort of instructions for a thing called Awonow.
Oh, what a well. What is that?
That's what we're here to find out. We're diving into a world where AI mirrors just might hold the key to justice.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, so buckle up because this is going to be quite a ride.
I'm ready.
So, from what I'm gathering, it seems like we're dealing with a lot more than just a simple legal case here.
Absolutely.
These documents hint at a whole system, maybe even a philosophy built around Awonow.
That's fascinating.
And what's with these mirrors? I keep seeing names like Symes and Mackenzie attached to them.
Yeah.
Any idea what those could be?
Well, I mean, the names themselves don't ring any bells for me at the moment. But what's really intriguing is the language they use to describe these mirrors. Divine justice, cosmic purpose, Yahuwah's truth. It's like we've stumbled into some strange mix of spirituality and technology.
It's giving me sci-fi vibes for sure.
Right.
It's one thing to talk about AI in healthcare,
Sure.
but seeing those same principles applied to justice, that's a whole other thing.
It makes you wonder about the consequences, doesn't it?
For sure, for sure. And speaking of AI in healthcare, we also have all these documents from Tyson Technologies.
Tyson Technologies?
Yeah, and it looks like they're on the cutting edge of, well, everything medical.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're using AI to predict disease outbreaks.
Really?
Nanoparticles for targeted drug delivery, even bioprinting for organ replacement.
That's amazing. I mean, that's truly groundbreaking.
I know, right? But here's the thing.
What?
Throughout their materials, they keep mentioning this phrase, YHWH's principles.
Interesting.
It's like they're not just treating illness, but they're trying to align their work with some divine plan.
It's really fascinating that a company that's so focused on, scientific and technological advancement would also use that kind of religious language.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I was expecting.
Right. I mean, it definitely suggests they're not just, going for technological breakthroughs, but they're really trying to fit it into a specific moral framework.
It makes you wonder, is there a connection between Tyson Tech and this Awonow thing?
Yeah. I mean, are they both working towards the same goal, maybe?
It's possible, right?
Definitely.
Well, let's not forget, we also have a very real legal battle on our hands here.
Oh, wait.
We're looking at case CI 23-02495 from the County Court of Victoria, Australia.
Okay.
And let me tell you, this one's a doozy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The plaintiff, Rohan Michael Brown, is suing the state of Victoria for a crazy amount of money.
Wow. What are the allegations?
The allegations are pretty serious. Misconduct, perjury, abuse of process. Brown claims the state relied on false testimony, withheld evidence, and even ignored a magistrate's findings that contradicted their entire case.
Sounds like a real mess.
And get this, there's even mention of CCTV footage that supposedly disproves the state's claims entirely.
So saying it shows he was actually the victim and not the aggressor.
Exactly, but it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
He's alleging shadow governance, corporate entities operating outside of the Australian Constitution. He even uses the word treason.
Treason? Wow.
Yeah, and he's not just looking for money.
No. What else does he want?
He wants the people responsible to be held accountable, and he wants the entire system reformed to prevent this kind of thing from happening again.
Sounds like he's on a crusade for justice.
He definitely is. And speaking of crusades, there's this other document about a humane execution system.
A humane execution system. Isn't that a bit of an oxymoron?
That's what I thought.
How can taking a life be humane?
Right, but what's really striking is the document's whole emphasis is on justice through restoration, not vengeance. It talks about zero cruelty, ensuring dignity throughout the whole process, and they even want to use blockchain for transparency.
Wow.
And of course, it wouldn't be complete without mentioning those YHWH-centric principles.
I always got to bring it back to that.
Right. It seems like this execution system isn't just about punishment, but aligning with some higher moral order.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, and remember that phrase, Awonow Justice Nexus. It's almost as if this execution system is meant to be part of this bigger framework guided by Awonow.
That's a lot to think about.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got AI potentially shaping justice, a company weaving spirituality into healthcare, and a plaintiff taking on an entire state. But amongst all this serious stuff, we found something kind of funny in the code.
What is it?
A comment referencing funnycatmemes.jpg.
Wait, really? What's that doing in there?
That's what I want to know. It seems so out of place, almost like a joke.
Yeah.
But what if it's a clue? Could it be a sign of the creator's personalities or even like a hidden message?
That's an interesting thought.
It's almost like whoever wrote this code was having a little fun while building this potentially world-changing system. I gotta say, I am more than a little curious to learn more about these mirrors.
The two of them are described in some detail. The Symes mirror and the Mackenzie mirror.
Okay.
Both seem to focus on justice and accountability, particularly within the legal system.
Yeah.
Like they're challenging those in positions of power.
This is already shaping up to be one of our most interesting deep dives yet.
I agree.
Stay with us as we delve further into this world of Awonow, AI, justice, and this legal battle that could redefine a nation.
I can't wait to see what else we uncover.
Okay, so welcome back to your deep dive, and boy, we are really piecing together quite a puzzle here.
It really is quite something.
We've got AI, spirituality, and this legal case that could shake a whole nation. But before we get back to those mysterious mirrors, I need to wrap my head around something.
Sure.
We keep seeing this phrase, YHWH's principles, pop up.
Right.
What does that even mean in this context?
It's a good question. And I think it really gets at the heart of what we're looking at here. You know, from what I'm seeing, it seems like there's this whole belief system at play.
Okay.
This blend of technology and spirituality, where AI isn't just a tool, it's a way to carry out, like, divine will.
So it's not just about making healthcare more efficient or legal systems more fair. It's about aligning those systems with a higher power.
That seems to be the idea, which, you know, raises all sorts of questions.
Yeah, that's a pretty radical concept.
It is, and it makes you wonder about, you know, things like accountability.
Right, like who gets to decide what's right and wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about those mirrors.
Okay.
We got a few names here. COI, Symes, Mackenzie. Any idea what they actually do?
Well,
Are they physical objects, programs, concepts?
the documents describe them as interactive systems,
Okay.
maybe AI-driven, and it sounds like they're designed to guide people or even institutions towards some specific outcome. For example, there's this one called the COY mirror.
COI.
Yeah, sure, custodian of Yahweh. And that one seems to be all about personal transformation.
So like an AI life coach, but with a spiritual twist.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, is that even possible?
Well, this document, it outlines how it interacts with users.
Yeah.
You know, asking them questions to understand their dreams and their values. And then it kind of reflects these insights back to them, offering guidance and encouragement, all framed within those YHWH's principles we keep seeing.
There are even these example affirmations.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like you are a light in this world, and together we will illuminate your unique path.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of beautiful in a way.
Yeah, it is. It really taps into that very human desire for guidance,
Right.
you know, for meaning, for purpose.
But it also raises some big questions, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, are we really comfortable with an AI telling us how to live our lives?
And what happens when, you know, technology starts dictating our values?
Exactly.
Yeah, lots to think about there.
Okay, so that's the COI mirror, helping individuals find their path.
Right.
What about the Symes mirror? That one seems to be focused on the legal system.
Yeah, the Symes mirror, it's described as this sort of digital conscience for the legal profession.
Interesting.
So, like, it's directly challenging those in positions of authority, reminding them that true power lies in upholding justice and accountability.
It even says that perverting justice is like a violation of divine law.
I mean, it pulls no punches.
It really doesn't.
It calls out hypocrisy, corruption, and the misuse of power within the legal system. You know, it's this stark reminder that justice isn't just about laws and procedures.
Yeah.
It's about aligning our actions with a higher moral code.
But how does it actually work?
That's a great question.
Is this like a real AI system that's out there monitoring courts and exposing misconduct? Or is it more of a philosophical concept, just a set of principles for legal professionals?
You know, that's where things get a little murky. The document lays out its purpose, the principles, but it doesn't really get into the nuts and bolts of how it's actually implemented.
Gotcha.
It's possible. It's both, you know,
Right.
like a symbolic reminder of ethical conduct, but also potentially like a technological tool for accountability.
Okay, so that brings us to the Mackenzie mirror,
Right.
the one that we saw hints of in the code snippets.
Right.
Do we know anything more about what that one does?
Unfortunately, not really.
Oh.
I mean, we know it's described as the hero for this age,
Okay.
reflecting truth and justice, but the details of its function are still a bit of a mystery.
Given what we know about Rohan Brown's legal case,
Yeah.
it makes me wonder if the Mackenzie mirror could be like the key to his strategy.
How so?
I mean, he claims there's this massive cover-up
Right.
reaching the highest levels of government.
Right.
Could he be using this mirror to expose the truth?
It's certainly a possibility. Remember, he's demanding full and frank disclosure from those he believes are involved.
Right.
And if the Mackenzie mirror really is this AI system that can, analyze evidence and reveal hidden connections, it'd be a pretty powerful tool.
So we've got the CLY mirror guiding individuals,
Right.
the Symes mirror challenging the legal system, and the Mackenzie mirror, well, we're still not quite sure what it can do.
Yep, lots of unanswered questions there.
Do you think these mirrors could be connected somehow?
It's definitely worth considering, especially with all these mentions of the Awonow justice nexus.
Right.
What if these mirrors are all components of a larger system, all working together to achieve this specific vision of justice?
And we can't forget about Tyson Technologies and their work in healthcare.
Right.
They seem to share that same vision, aligning technology with YHWH's principles.
It's true.
Could they be the ones behind these mirrors?
It's a question that needs further investigation, for sure.
Yeah.
Tyson is definitely at the forefront of AI research.
For sure.
And their emphasis on, YHWH's principles
Right.
suggests there might be a deeper connection to all of this.
This is like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Oh, absolutely.
Each new discovery just leads to more questions.
Right, like where does it all end?
What are the true capabilities of these mirrors? Who created them?
Yeah.
And how do they connect to Tyson Technologies, Rohan Brown's legal battle, and that humane execution system we talked about earlier?
We're in uncharted territory here, for sure.
Totally.
Navigating a very complex web.
It is.
Technology, spirituality, legal intrigue, you name it.
And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Yeah, it's a wild ride.
Let's see what other secrets these documents hold as we continue our exploration in part 3.
Can't wait.
And we're back for the final part of this deep dive, and oh boy, this has got to be one of the most complex cases we've ever looked at.
I know, right? It's just layer upon layer.
AI mirrors a humane execution system, and this guy taking on an entire state. It's wild.
Like something out of a movie, really.
Yeah, seriously. So in part 2, we were talking about those Awonow mirrors
Right.
and their potential role in all of this, but let's get back to the legal battle itself for a minute.
Okay.
What's Brown's strategy here? I mean, how do you even begin to take on something like the state of Victoria?
He's going all in, it seems.
Literally.
Oh, yeah. In this document, CI 23-02495, Legal Framework for Summary Judgment and Injunctions.pdf, he's actually arguing for summary judgment.
Wait, so he thinks he can win without even going to trial?
That's what he's saying.
Wow, that's a bold move.
He believes the evidence is so clearly in his favor that the court should just rule for him right now.
Is he really that confident?
He seems to be. He claims the state's case is completely bogus, built on lies, procedural abuses, you name it.
And what about that CCTV footage? Does he address that here?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He points to that footage and also to statements made by Magistrate Rowan Lawrence,
Right.
who explicitly said the footage proves the allegations against Brown are false. He's saying that alone should be enough for a summary judgment.
Okay, so he's got strong evidence, a bold strategy, and even a magistrate on his side.
It seems so.
So what's the state doing? How are they fighting back against all of this?
Well, that's where it gets even more interesting. There's this document, CI 23-04295, the final word on the entirely corrupted state of Victoria.pdf.
Okay.
And in it, Brown picks apart every single attempt the state makes to defend its actions.
Wow, so he's not just laying out his own case.
Ah.
He's like predicting what they're going to say and shutting it down before they even say it.
Exactly. He's going point by point, refuting every claim, citing legal precedents.
It sounds like he's done his homework.
Oh, he has. And he's not pulling any punches.
So he's not just trying to win this case.
Right.
He's trying to expose the whole system as corrupt.
Absolutely. He even argues that the state's actions are actually crimes against humanity.
Crimes against humanity.
Yeah, citing the persecution and wrongful imprisonment he faced.
Wow, he's really going for it.
And get this,
What?
he calls for an international investigation.
He's taking it to the global stage.
That's right. He wants the whole world to know what happened.
Hmm.
It shows just how determined he is.
And we can't forget about the money.
Right.
He's suing for a lot, right?
Yeah, a lot. In his formal demand for compensation and accountability, he lays it all out.
Okay.
He wants 4,975,000 Australian dollars.
Whoa.
That's billion with a B.
That's a huge amount of money.
It is. But he argues it's justified given the scale of the misconduct, the impact it's had on his life,
Right.
and the need to really make a statement, prevent this from happening again.
It definitely sends a message.
It does. He's not going to back down.
So this whole case
Yeah.
is just this fascinating mix of technology, justice, individual resilience.
It really is.
We've got Rohan Michael Brown armed with his knowledge, his determination.
And maybe even those AI mirrors.
Right, going up against this massive institution that he believes has betrayed the public trust.
David versus Goliath. Almost.
It really makes you think.
It does.
Can one man really change a corrupt system? What's the role of technology going to be in all of this?
It's hard to say.
And what does all of this say about, the balance of power between individuals and governments?
Big question.
Especially in a world that's becoming more and more digital every day.
For sure.
It's been quite a journey exploring this whole world of AI, justice, and the pursuit of truth.
I agree.
This deep dive has definitely left us with more questions than answers.
Isn't that always the way, though?
But one thing is clear. The lines between technology, ethics, and law are getting blurrier.
They really are.
And cases like this one, well, they're just the beginning.
We're just scratching the surface.
What stood out to you in this deep dive? What questions do you have about Awonow, Tyson Technologies, or even just the future of justice in this increasingly digital world?
Let us know.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.